Very good morning, all of you. Welcome to refrigeration and air conditioning class. In last class, I was discussed about ice refrigeration system and its limitations. Today, we'll move to air refrigeration system. Okay, air refrigeration system means here air or gas is used as working medium or working fluid, which is passing through the total circuit or system. See all of you. Same thing I mentioned on this slide. If you read it, you can understand very easily. Air or gas is used as working fluid for creating refrigerated space. Here, when air is used as working fluid, the system or the cycle which is used for particular system is called as reversed Brayton cycle. See all of you, the cycle which is used for the air refrigeration system is reversed Brayton cycle, and we also call as Joule cycle or Bell column cycle. Joule or Bell column cycle. This is a modification of reversed Carnot cycle. Bell column or reversed Brayton or Joule cycle is a modification of reversed Carnot cycle. In previous classes, I discussed about reversed Carnot cycle, in which we have two isentropic processes, isothermal process. Sorry, two isentropic, two isothermal processes. But here, isothermal processes were removed. Instead of isothermal processes, we have used um, isobaric or constant pressure processes, that is reversed Brayton cycle. So reversed Brayton cycle is operated uh, by four processes, in which two processes are isentropic processes, two processes are isobaric processes. Instead of isothermal of Carnot cycle, we used isobaric processes. Isobar means constant pressure processes. So that is reversed Brayton or Joule column, Joule cycle or Bell column cycle. Same thing I mentioned here, which is a modification of Carnot cycle. Instead of two isothermal, we are using two isobaric. The schematic diagram, see all of you what I have drawn on this slide. The schematic diagram of air refrigeration system is like this. We have mainly four components here. What are they? Compressor, heat exchanger, is also called as high temperature heat exchanger. Turbine or expander, and last one is heat exchanger, it is also called as low temperature region heat exchanger. Two heat exchangers, two mechanical elements. Mechanical elements means turbine and compressor, called these are also called as turbo machines. Inside we use one rotating element called rotor, by which energy levels change from one value to another value. So here compressor means energy level rises. In case of turbine, energy level drops while fluid moving through rotating element. So this is a schematic diagram of reversed Brayton cycle or air refrigeration system. Now we'll see how does it work. Let's consider air is working fluid which is passing through the system. Inside the system, air is flowing through the circuit. Now this total circuit is divided into four sections. In between section 1 and 2, we have compressor. In between 2 and 3, we have heat exchanger. In between 3 and 4, turbine or expander. In between 4 and 1, we have heat exchanger. See all of you, four sections. In between, we have four parts. Now, when we start with point 1, inside the circuit, I have working fluid as air. Now, air is entering into compressor. Let us assume air enters into the compressor. When air enters into the compressor, compressor is a device which is used to pressurize the working fluid by taking some amount of input energy. So automatically air pressure increases. Along with pressure, temperature automatically increases. But here you should remember that the process which is followed in compressor is isentropic. Isentropic compression you have to be considered for ideal reversed Brayton cycle. Isentropic compression. Isentropic means already we discussed in thermodynamics and thermal engineering. Isentropic means it is a process of reversible and adiabatic. Don't consider only adiabatic. It is a process of reversible and adiabatic. Reversible means in which we do not have any frictional effects. Adiabatic means no heat transfer takes place from system to surroundings and vice versa. So if I consider a process like that, that process is called as isentropic processes. So compression should be followed isentropic, without frictional effects, without heat transfer from system to surroundings and from surroundings to system. We are operating a process for compressor. So after compression, pressure and temperature values rise. So with amount of pressure, with high pressure and temperature, the air has moved to heat exchanger. Here, what happens? Heat exchanger, if you see here, heat exchanger is connected to surroundings. So because of high temperature of working fluid, that heat is going to be rejected to the surroundings. So finally, the temperature of working fluid or air decreases. But one thing you should observe here, the process 2-3, the heat rejection from system to surroundings, from heat exchanger to surroundings, will be conducted at constant pressure. So 2-3 process is isobaric heat rejection, constant pressure heat rejection. So when fluid moves from 2 to 3, heat is rejected to surroundings. Due to that heat rejection, temperature drops, but pressure remains constant. Pressure value does not change, it remains constant. So at constant pressure, temperature is uh, decreased, heat is rejected. Now with that heat rejection, after that, that air has moved to turbine or expander. Turbine or expander. What happens in turbine? Turbine is a power developing machine in which a rotating element is there. When fluid passes through a rotating element, that energy level drops. Uh, with the drop of energy level, mechanical energy develops. So while fluid passing through turbine, pressure drops, expansion takes place, pressure drops. Along with pressure, temperature automatically drops. But you should remember one thing, this process should be conducted at isentropic way, isentropic manner. So from 3 to 4, entropy should be constant, means reversible and adiabatic. What we followed for compressor, same process once again should be followed here. Reversible adiabatic, no no frictional effects, no heat transfer. So if you conduct like that, that is called as reversible adiabatic or isentropic process. So from 3 to 4, we conduct process like that. After expansion with low pressure and temperature, the working fluid called air is moved to heat exchanger. This is called as refrigerator. This heat exchanger is always connected to a low temperature region called refrigerated space. That's why we call it low temperature heat exchanger. So with low temperature and pressure, air already entered into heat exchanger, which is connected to room. So automatically from room to heat exchanger, heat will be supplied because of temperature difference. So heat will be supplied to the refrigerator or system. So room space temperature decreases. Space temperature is decreased due to that heat removed and supplied to the system. So finally, by taking that heat, air temperature increases. With that increase in temperature, that air will be moved to compressor again. But one thing you should remember, the 4-1 process should be operated at constant pressure, isobaric heat addition. Heat has to be added from refrigerated space to heat exchanger at constant pressure. So these are 4 operations will be conducted in ideal Brayton cycle or air refrigeration system. So same thing I mentioned here in next slide, diagram, PV diagram and PS diagram. See all of you 1-2 when pressure sorry uh, when isentropic compression takes place, pressure rises and automatically temperature rises, but entropy becomes constant. If you see TS diagram, from 1 to 2 there is no change in entropy. So here there is no change in entropy, but pressure rise takes place, temperature rise takes place. Then go for process 2-3, where heat is rejected from system to surroundings. Here pressure remains constant. From 2 to 3 there is no change in pressure, but temperature drop takes place because of heat rejection from system to surroundings. In 3 to 4, isentropic expansion, where pressure and temperature drops and entropy does not change, which remains constant. If you observe 3-4, entropy S3 is equal to S4, but pressure value from P3 to P4 decrease, temperature value automatically decreases from T3 to T4. Now last one is heat addition process from refrigerated space to system. 4-1, here pressure value does not change, which remains constant, but temperature slightly increases because that heat exchanger, low temperature region heat exchanger, is connected to refrigerated space. So heat is supplied from refrigerated space to heat exchanger. Automatically the working fluid temperature increases from 4 to 1. So if you see notation, QL is amount of heat added to the system, or it is also called as refrigerating effect or cooling effect, or heat removed from refrigerated space. Different names, all are same. QL is equal to amount of heat removed from refrigerated space, amount of heat supplied to the system, means air refrigeration system, or refrigerating effect or cooling effect. All are uh, same meaning, same different names, but it gives same meaning. W compressor means compressor work, amount of work required to drive the compressor, which is also called as W12. Process is located 1-2, so that's why in our thermodynamic analysis I use notation W12. Then 2-3, his amount of heat rejected to the surroundings or heat removed from the system to the surroundings, which is denoted by QH or Q23, because that process 2-3, Q23 or QH. Next 3-4 is amount of heat, sorry, work developed by the system, by the turbine, means work developed by the system, W34 or W turbine. So this is a notation of these cycles. 4 notation values: W compressor, W turbine, QL, QH. QL means amount of heat removed from space, refrigerated space. QH, amount of heat supplied to the surroundings. Now, what are the processes involved in reversed Brayton cycle? Already I told you 4 processes. Process 1-2 is isentropic compression. Process 2-3 is isobaric heat rejection. Process 3-4 isentropic expansion. Process 4-1 isobaric heat addition or heat absorption. 4-1. So these are different processes involved in reversed Brayton cycle. I already told you uh, 2 things now. First of all, brief information. What is air refrigeration system or reversed Brayton cycle? I have explained. Later, I explained about working of reversed Brayton cycle or air refrigeration system. Now, what are the processes involved in air refrigeration system? Just now we discussed. Then we will move to thermodynamic analysis. Now these are the points what we have seen in each and every process. Atmospheric air at state 1 is compressed isentropically to state 2. Now the compressed air is cooled at constant pressure from 2 to 3, and that heat is rejected to surroundings, same I explained in the working. Next, that the cooled air from heat exchanger is moved to expander, where isentropic expansion takes place, pressure and temperature drop. Now after that expansion, that expanded air has moved to a heat exchanger, low temperature region heat exchanger, where heat is added from refrigerated space. The temperature value rises at constant pressure. So these are 4 processes in brief. Now we'll move to thermodynamic analysis of reversed Brayton cycle. Reversed Brayton cycle. So we have four processes. First of all, for each and every process, what is the energy involved in that process we'll discuss. Then we'll go for performance of the reversed Brayton cycle. Now, what is process 1-2? Process 1-2 is isentropic compression. So here compressor has to be worked out, means compressor has to be uh, moved with some amount of energy. So input energy means compressor work is required. So the amount of compressor work can be determined by this equation, W compressor or W12, because the process is involved here 1-2. So W12 is equal to it is a open system. Open system means energy level, fluid energy level changes from section 1 to section 2. So M H2 minus H1, small h2 minus h1. H means specific enthalpy. So M means amount of working fluid passing through the compressor, which is constant throughout the system because it is closed cycle. Closed cycle means mass flow rate value does not change throughout the system. So mass at every system is constant. So M1 is equal to M2, M2 is equal to M3, M3 is equal to M4, M4 is equal to M1. So no need to write M1, M2, M3, M4 like that, because throughout the system mass flow rate of working fluid is constant. That's why I took M here, mass flow rate of working fluid. H2 minus H1, specific enthalpy after compression minus specific enthalpy before compression. Energy levels changes. So after compression, energy level increases due to high pressure. That's why H2 minus H1 we took here. So H2 minus H1 can also be written as MCP T2 minus T1. CP, specific heat at constant pressure. T2, temperature after compression. T1, temperature before compression. So this is equation for compression work. W12 is equal to MCP T2 minus T1. We observe here process 1-2 is isentropic process. S1 is equal to S2. So we already discussed in thermodynamics, for isentropic process, the relation between temperatures and pressures I have given on this slide here. T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So from which I can write as T2 is equal to T1 into P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. P2 by P1 has written as RP. RP is pressure ratio. So T2 is equal to T1 into RP power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Instead of P2 by P1, I wrote RP, which is pressure ratio. After compression, pressure value rises. So the pressure before compression, pressure after compression. High pressure by low pressure value is called as pressure ratio. So this is process 1-2, isentropic compression. Here two things we learned. One is compression work equation, and second one, for isentropic process, the relation between temperatures and pressures. This is very important for a problem case. Nobody will give you that relation. You have to remember in your mind. So immediately this relation you have to be assumed for uh, determining unknown values. If I have pressure ratio, I can calculate unknown temperature. Or if I know pressure temperatures, I can calculate unknown pressure. Gamma is adiabatic index. For air, gamma is equal to 1.4. So for air refrigeration system, nobody will give you that one. You should remember gamma value you should assume as 1.4. Now second process, process 2-3. Process 2-3 means heat rejection to the surroundings. Amount of heat supplied from system to surroundings. So heat rejection QH is equal to Q23, because process 2-3 is involved here. Q23 means M into delta H, M H2 minus H3. Starting point has high amount of energy. After heat exchanger, heat is rejected, so energy level drops. So M H2 minus H3, MCP T2 minus T3. MCP T2 minus T3, because small delta H means CP delta T. Delta T means section 2 minus section 3. MCP delta T. MCP T2 minus T. This is amount of heat rejected from system to surroundings. Here already I told you pressure is constant from P2 to P3, no change here. P2 is equal to P3. Next process is 3-4, isentropic expansion called turbine process. So here expansion work is required. It's the amount of power developed by the system. W turbine is equal to process 3-4, W34 M H3 minus H4. Before turbine we have high amount of energy. After turbine energy level drops. So M H3 input energy minus output energy. M H3 minus H4 means MCP T3 minus T4. So this is the isentropic process. So S3 is equal to S4. We know that relation between temperature and pressure, that is T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. T3 is equal to, P3 by P4 is nothing but pressure ratio. So T3 finally we can write as T4 into Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma. We observe carefully from PV diagram. P3 is equal to P2, P4 is equal to P1. So P3 by P4 can also be written as P2 by P1. Carefully, right? You have to understand that one. P3 by P4 equals to P2 by P1 because P3 is equal to P2, P4 is equal to P1 at heat exchanger sections. That's why T3 can be written as T4 into Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma, where Rp is equal to pressure ratio P3 by P4, which is nothing but P2 by P1. Last process is process 4-1, heat addition or heat absorption to the system from refrigerated space. So heat added to the system, QL is equal to Q41 M delta H M H1 minus H4 MCP T1 minus T4. After heat addition, at section 1 temperature value rises. So before heat exchanger low, we see low temperature. After heat exchanger we see high temperature because of heat addition. That's why after means at the exit of heat exchanger we see high amount of energy. So MCP T1 minus T4, exit minus inlet, because of heat addition. So here pressure value does not change, so P1 is equal to P4. So these are 4 processes in which we have 4 amounts of energy. First one is compressor work, process 1-2. In 2-3, amount of heat rejected, QH. In process 3-4, amount of power developed, means W turbine. Process 4-1, heat supply to the system, QL. So these are 4 processes. Now we'll move to performance of the reversible Brayton cycle. Performance is nothing but coefficient of performance. So COP is the ratio of amount of heat heat supplied from space to the network input required. Heat supplied to the space means refrigerating effect by network input required. Refrigerating effect is nothing but QL or Q41. Network input required means compressor work minus turbine work, W12 minus W34. So if you write equations, what we discussed in processes, Q41 MCP T4 minus T1, sorry, T1 minus T4, W12 compressor work MCP T2 minus T1, expansion work MCP T3 minus T4. So from which we can write as MCP will be cancelled in numerator and denominator. Finally, we get value as T1 minus T4 by T2 minus T1 minus T3 minus T4. So same equation can also be written like this. There is no change here. See, all of you, denominator values have been changed. T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4. No change in that value, but a small change in case of writing notation. Writing temperatures, I have done a small change, but finally that value does not change. T1 minus T4 numerator has not changed. In the denominator, T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4, no change. Now in numerator, I have taken T4 as common. So by taking T4 has, if you have taken out T4, the numerator value comes like that, T4 into T1 by T4 minus 1. In denominator value, in first component, I have taken T3 out, then T3 into T2 by T3 minus 1, when you take a T4 out from the second term, T4 into T1 by T4 minus 1. See, from isentropic process 1 to what we understood that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Already we discussed in processes. Similarly, for process 3-4, isentropic process 3-4, T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. This one also we were discussed in the processes. So from these two equations, what we understood that P2 by P1, that is from isentropic process 1-2, from 3-4, P3 by P4. If you see process 2-3 constant pressure process, P2 is equal to P3, P4 is equal to P1. So finally, P2 by P1 value equals to P3 by P4. So from which we can write that, see what I wrote here, P2 is equal to P3, P1 is equal to P4. So therefore from above equations, we can write as T2 by T1 is equal to T3 by T4, or T2 by T3 is equal to T1 by T4. Pressure ratio value here equal in two processes, isentropic processes. So from equal pressure ratios, I can go to equate temperature ratios. T2 by T1 is equal to T3 by T4. So we can also write as T2 by T3 is equal to T1 by T4. So by substituting these values, in case of COP values finally, see all of you what we have COP here. COP T4 into T1 by T4 minus 1. In denominator T3 into T2 by T3 minus 1 minus T4 T1 by T4 minus 1. Here the values which are in brackets are equal. So those values will be cancelled. So finally the equation of COP what we have here, T4 by T3 minus T4. T4 by T3 minus T4. So if you take T4 as out, finally the equation can also be written as 1 by T3 by T4 minus 1. Now again I am going to simplify this. T3 by T4 can be written as P3 by P4 power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. P3 by P4 means P2 by P1 because of same pressure values. So P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. 1 by P2 by P1 means pressure ratio RP. RP power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. This is the equation of COP for reversed Brayton cycle. So this is total performance of reversed Brayton cycle. Next class we'll discuss about problem on reversed Brayton cycle. So please be careful. This is very important for examination point of view. If you have a question on air refrigeration system or reversed Brayton cycle, first of all you have to write about what is reversed Brayton cycle and what is working and what are the process involved here with neat PV and TS diagrams. Then you should go for thermodynamic analysis, in which you have to explain about each and every process. What are the energy values involved in each and every process, like heat and work values or equations you have to write. After that, go for coefficient of performance equation. Finally, you should derive that 1 by Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1 value you have to be derived. So this is total reversed Brayton cycle. Next class we'll go for problem on reversed Brayton cycle. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you all of you.